Alright. All I use. I mean, yeah, of course you use mine as well, but that one gets some, that emoji using gets some mileage. I'm excited because today we're reading the sequel to an SCP we read 100 SCPs ago. You have to tell me once we reach that part. Maybe I realize it myself, but not sure if I will. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Here we go. Okay, I'm getting some live update. Live update from the station. But I think we can read the first one without having to worry about how many words there are. So I think we can get started, eh? So our very first author of today, from our first SCP of today, of this weekend. I'm in the wrong server. There we go. That will take. We had them not too long ago. We have them with 3070, which, let me double check it. I'm pretty sure that's a space one. Yes, it's all the minor planets that have different anomalous effects, and one of them, which I made the thumbnail about, was like a planet that looks like Einstein's head. Okay, now I know how many words there are to read. 22,000 words. That's, yeah, we're gonna be here for a bit. We're going to be here for a bit, but that's fine. That's fine. But all right, let's get started with botanical warfare. All right, now we'll take. Let's see what this warfare has to offer. Eh? Containment class. Well, level 3 confidential first of all. Containment class safe. Disruption class dark. Risk class caution. Special containment procedures. -1 is stored in an enlarged containment hangar at Armed Containment Area 40 in an inactive state with access to an underground testing area. Any testing must be approved by level 4/3140 personnel. During testing, the -S subject must be watched by researchers in security outside of the testing area. Upon conclusion of testing, the anomaly must be deactivated and brought to its chamber. Investigations into the uses of SCP-3140 in Davic society and whether or other instances. I mean, actually, you know what? I'm going to move the keyboard a little bit further away so that my mic is a bit further as well. I just now realized I forgot to do one more sound thing. And whether other instances of the anomaly exist are ongoing. Here we go, just in case. There. Also, test works, but fine. Revision 1. Level 4/3140 approval is required for the planting of seeds recovered from SCP-3140 instances. The guidelines in document HRT-1 must be followed for the initial planting, and in revision 2, -2 and -3 will be stored in enlarged containment hangars at Botanical Garden Beta. Level 4/3140 approval is required for testing of either or both of the anomalies. This sounds like a... I'm not sure what you meant with a bit good thing we are used to hearing you speak. I don't remember what I said and caused that response, but let's just go on. -1 is the only extant member of SCP-3140, a group of arboreal entities. -1's body primarily consists of Cupressus gigantea and Prunus cerulata, bark and wood standing at a height of 12 meters. Okay, so we have the Tibetan cypress and the Japanese cherry. The torso of its body is roughly spherical, with multiple flowering cherry branches and small cherry trees growing from it. The blossoms do not require any sunlight and nutrients in order to grow. The anterior side has a stylized eye etched into it, which is surrounded by illustrations of Davic weaponry, cultural symbols, and skulls with 7 eye sockets. 2140 was the yes. was the like the symbols that made everybody become part of the Foundation. By the way, Casabon, when you said a sequel, and you said 100 SCPs ago, do you mean 100 or 1,000? Because this won't be exactly 1,000 from 2140. Just double checking with you quickly. Are we going to be here for a bit? Oh yeah. Yeah, we will be here for a bit. The posterior portion has a circular thalamic glyph pattern, TGP, with a radius of 26 centimeters, which prevents fire and erosion damage. A lot of footnotes. No, I mean 100. Gotcha. Patterns composed of many interconnected thaumaturgic symbols. Davik TGPs often had hundreds of symbols within small spaces and were commonly created by skilled thaumaturgic artisans. 3 anterior facing wooden barrels, 1 meter long and 28 centimeters wide, with a single hole in the front, are on the torso. One is attached above the right leg, one extends from a dorsal branch on the right side, and one is positioned 1 meter left of the eye symbol. And here we have the recreational symbols carved onto the surface of -1. Yes. Little Spider-Man head right here, except with, like, you know, the mother symbol. That looks like a skull from the profile. Yeah, okay. 2 wooden digidegrade. What? Okay, I need to know how to say that one. Pronunciation.
Digidegrade.
Digidegrade. Okay, what does that actually mean? Walking the digits with the posterior of the foot more or less raised. Okay. 2 wooden digidegrade legs are connected to the sides of the anomaly. These legs possess full articulation, due to the wood at the joints being intermixed with an unknown green and pink substance, designated -C. The legs are ornately carved with iconography of Devite soldiers killing and eating people, soldiers with unidentified megafauna and entities resembling SCP-3140 besieging castles and cities, and slaves being given to the David matriarchs. Lovely. The leading theocratic aristocracy in Davik society. The bottoms of the left leg features a hand-shaped recess with a depth of 10 centimeters with the phrase "For the Conqueror" written in Davik found in the center. The feet have 3 long toes, 2 anterior and 1 posterior. Horses are digidegrades, for example, since they are actually technically always tiptoeing. Oh. I agree with you, sounds lovely. You think eating people sounds lovely? Every time a mechanic says something, I'm like secretly trying to get mechanic like cancelled. Like the moment like I say, "Oh, it sounds lovely," when cannibalism is mentioned, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, it sounds lovely." I'll be like, "Really? You think that's a lovely thing to talk? Like, you think that's okay?" This is the one, FBI. This is the one. Here we go. Just one. Oh yeah, I can. There we go. That's much nicer. In an active state, -1 sits in a crouching position. Any subject here after designated -S that places their left hand in the hand-shaped recess and says the Davic word for awaken will activate -1, making it stand upright. Alright. No. The anomaly will begin to follow -S and will follow directions set in Davic. Directions that -1 is incapable of achieving will not be followed. Saying the Davic word for sleep will bring the anomaly back to its inactive state. Any -S may reactivate -1 at any time by saying awaken within the anomaly's vicinity in any language. Depends on how you eat the people, am I right? FBI, this is the one. Don't come after me, come after that guy. The following are a sample of known directions -1 will follow, all spoken in Davic and the outcomes. Move. -1 moves to the location -S points to. Stomp. -1 moves to the 2 and stumps at a location -S.2. Stab. Various bone spikes, around 25 centimeters long, emerge from every surface of the anomaly. Multiple spikes have broken and disintegrated during testing. These retract after 1 minute. Slide. A mix of translucent, low viscosity substances cover -1, falling off of it after 3 minutes. Bring. Help. -1 secretes a substance similar to alarm pheromones of extant insect species for 2 minutes. Should I be concerned that that's the response for bring help? They emit pheromones, they're like, oh, something will come. Keel. Resin seeps from random location on the anomaly, primarily around the barrels. Fire. Smoke emerges from the barrels on -1. See document /C list for further comments. -1 was discovered at the Foundation Archaeological Dig Site near Bikodu, Jammu and Kashmir, Republic of India on 27th January 2017. The dig site appeared to have at one point the location of a battle between Devite forces and an unknown autothon group based on the of non-anomalous weapons and armor possessing acute heptagrams, sometimes surrounded by other polygons. Regular polygons ranging from 4 to 7 sides, and humanoid figures with 4 to 7 arms. A set of mythological and religious beliefs based around the universe being the second universe to exist. This is typically paired with the worship of 7 universal guardian deities known as the Kohu Toisov, of which 6 have died. Said battle is believed to have occurred at some point with in the early Low Davidic period, circa 11,000 BCE, suspected to be the century conquest. A war waged by the Davidites on a wide number of civilizations in Asia, lasting from 11,039 BC to 10,939 BC. Photograph of the dig site. Ooh, we're getting a lot of corpses and bones and all that stuff. I would say as long as you have consent, you're alright. Now I got FBI and MIB after me. Yep, you know, I mean, I'm sorry, it's kind of your own fault. You're saying a lot of things that are being live broadcasted. No, of course they're gonna be after you. Around -1 legs were chain leg cuffs made of meteoric iron locked with a complex mechanical system, with the phrase "Ruination to the Invaders" written in autothon on both cuffs. The chains have been heavily damaged, likely from attempts to break them. Remnants of an SCP-3140 instance were found at a dig site in the vicinity, which had damaged legs and a destroyed torso. The torso remains had a solidified mass of miscellaneous plant matter and bone fragments in it, connected by multiple small roots. Other objects in the area included bones, weaponry, and armor. All artifacts, the destroyed instance and -1 were transported to Area 40 on the 29th January 2017. Based on texts found in SCP-1726 and SCP-140, SCP-3140 were a common weapon utilized by the Davidic Empire during and after the century conquest, but it suggests that the anomaly had predated Davide civilization. Oh, a weapon beyond the time. Based on the leading theory that redacted, well, I gotta quickly click on this just to see what leads me to. Isn't that the Bigfoot group? Based on the leading theory that redacted relic, the anomaly was substantially modified from its original from the Davide holy culture, only resembling SCP-3140 not long before the century conquest. The original purpose of the anomaly is unknown. Thaumaturgic horticulture. I think that's just going to lead to different SCPs again. Yeah, this one we'll get there soon. I say that. Methods will be used to grow different variations of the entities primarily designed for military application. Below, several text excerpts detailing the growth and usage of SCP-3140 in Davide society translated. That dig site looks a bit dry, not gonna lie. Yeah, that's usually how dig sites work. Next time Professor raids, your mechanic will be caught saying, "I think cannibalism is cool." Imagine if that I highly doubt they're gonna raid me ever again since I finished Doom Dog Ages. I'm probably not gonna play a Bethesda game in quite a while on stream. But who knows if something else happens, if another game company is like, we're gonna rate this guy specifically. I hope Mechanic will not say something like that. Next to the prisoner's slaughtering grounds, I saw a massive farm. It stretched out from the clearing, which I estimated to be 60 euros long. What the fuck is euros? 50 euros wide, and past the corpses, possibly farther. I estimate the clearing to be 61 euros. Many growing and grown amunch are in the plots, possibly 100 or more. The area has less guards, though many experienced presence. Aether benders occupy it. A hill in an unguarded region gave the perfect view, and the holy race tube, praised the elemental holies, improved it. The Devike, deaf to the brutes, Aether benders walked the columns and would stop by the mature and crouched ones. They would then retrieve objects from the red robes. Aether black would flash in their hands as they retrieved the materials and inserted them into the amunch, which rippled like water during the process. I could not easily glimpse the materials, for they were clouded by the Aether black air, but the holy race tube praised the elemental holies, illuminated spirit residual outlines of bone and flesh. After the process ended, a quick change would occur to the golem. Tentacles like the Deepers. I suggest an investigation to see if a deeper pact was formed. Cannons of great size and with many barrels and spikes to rival our spears all grew instantaneously. The Aether benders would move on the next, and the soldier would lead slaves, likely captured warriors, by chain to the wooden beast. We were all starved and scared, and trembled with every step. If they did not begin to etch Devik, death to the brutes, victories and violence under the golems, a small rod would be stabbed under the back, and would immediately return to work. Some of these artists had dozens stuck into them. Correspondence from Katin Deraj to Weisert Anton, circa 11,030 BCE, of the Arleon Tipa, describing an overview of their professional camp, a document 1726 till 503, or I guess dash 503, I think it's just document name, not the actual dates. The first attackers were the Devike soldiers who emerged from the jungle at the early sunrise to assault the gateway. Luckily, our warriors were as prepared as the 10th Y prophesied and promised, for they had great many traps, weapons, and strong fortifications. Our archers up on the wall did the little to assist them, and the onlookers up here, myself included, cheered. We knew the Devite Empire was the greatest to ever exist, so this victory was truly glorious. I was nervous though. The countless stories of endless victories and the taming of great beasts that belonged in other realms came back to me. An attack with so few soldiers seemed wrong. After a Jolon had passed with no new action, the crowd around the archers grew smaller, but our good warriors stood strong with anticipation. Another Jolon later, most had left to return to their homes in the city, and the archers began to speak about unrelated events. Unusually, the chimes of safety had not rung despite the apparent victory. That was when I heard a rumble and saw trees swaying from my window. Suddenly, 3 large beings of wood and leaves rose above the horizons. Their bodies were like castles of wood, and their legs were larger than any tree trunk I have seen in my hunts. Each had vast numbers of Devites scrambling along stairwells, lined with bark blading on the exterior and on fortified platforms, covered by large trees. Strange pink and blue flowers blossomed all over. A few holes I could see on the front suggest they have an interior as well. The 100 cannons fired in unison from the top and middle of the wall, but the 3 beasts kept walking. More and more were fired, and only small pieces of the things would shatter. The ground troops were being attacked from all sides by smaller wood creatures, some still taller than any man. I saw a man have spiked vines wrap around his body and rip him like cloth, and another was impaled by several wooden spikes. The traps and barricades were stepped on and broken, and the archers and cannon workers were killed by Devite arrows. As I got close to the top of the wall, I grabbed all I could and ran from my home and into the city. A show later, I heard the chimes of invasion ring from all around. Who emerged from the jungle? That reminds me of the song that goes in the jungle, the mighty jungle. I was thinking more of like Treebeard from Lord of the Rings. Like he just like walks out like like time to pay. Time to kill those orcs that killed all my friends. Written by Matra Ne John in his personal diary, circa 10,950 BC, describing the invasion of the Olut city-state by Deva troops. Document 1726-991. Clouds swirled in the skies. My boat sailed along the coast. As with all Sank creations, it was efficient and simple, but I feared it would collapse at any moment. After Nyuro, I was able to see the edge of the White-Hand clan's village. The rest was hidden in dense foliage. The Musan codexes claimed the clan to be a relic of Empire Devaik, a fragment Devaik, a much debated idea as none could verify from risk of death or worse. This day I could see well that there were fragment Devaik. Huts and sculptures of bone were common. Occasional villagers and guards walking around. The only crop I saw was a large and thin tree growing slices of meat on the branches. Guards would grab a slice and eat, and another would grow soon after. I lacked a solution for the few animals and humans that could be fed on. Small Warshore wood deities tamed and used for war, were fishing using tens of arms and their fronts. Once all arms claws had grabbed a fish, they would drop them into a basket that would then be put into a hole on another Warshore. This one would then trudge into the forest, vanishing. This repeated without end. Illustrated Modern World Travel, circa 800 BCE, an incomplete book describing the author's journey to learn about the cultures and societies in Central and East Asia. Sketches of the described locations are also present, though most of them are poor in quality and many passages are largely incoherent. The writer is presently unknown. Document 1726 till 724. Well, dash 2724, yeah. I keep saying till, it's not a date. Full text and artwork related SCP-3140 instances can be found in document 3140-his docs. The use of SCP-3140 decreased over time and gradually replaced in favor of thaumaturgic mechanical weapons. However, some David clans continue to use the entities for hard labor, farming, and protection. The last remaining ones are suspected to have been destroyed by forces under Chinese General Qin Kai circa 270 BCE. Addendum: on the 1st of March 2017, 2 seeds designated -2 and -3 retrieved from -1 were planted in enlarged Botanical Garden Beta in Area 40, following the right horticulture instructions found in documents 1726-801 and 1726-822, compiled in document -HRT. Said instructions utilize multiple anomalous compounds and thaumaturgic rituals carried out by the Thaumaturgy Division personnel. -2 will be grown without modification being made, while -3 will be grown for use in farming. By May, several wooden spheres with small branches extending from them had grown, and by July, growths resembling legs had formed. Well, it's a botanical garden. To me, it looks like every other botanical garden, to be honest. A lot of grass, though. Addendum 2. On the 5th September 2017, -2 and -3 have fully grown and have broken out of the dirt plots. Following the relocation to separate containment chambers, testing regimens began. -2 is largely the same as -1, but it lacks any inscriptions, etchings, or barrels. The anomaly is unresponsive to the fire command. The leading explanation for the lack of barrels is that they were added to the entity after it had fully grown, which is unlikely to carry over to offspring. Research into adding these onto the anomaly is ongoing. -3 lacks the same features as -2 and has a largely different body structure than SCP-3140. The entity has a height of 4 meters and 3 meters wide torso. The underside possess a mass of tendrils made of wood and -C, each of which have different structure. Personnel have successfully used -3 in the cultivation of soybeans, rice, turmeric, and sugarcane with various commands, using the tendrils to achieve this. However, the process is slower than existing mechanical farming methods. Further research is being performed to see if SCP-3140 instances could be utilized by the Foundation, which includes tests to see if instances could learn new commands after growth. Will the Foundation create a tree mobile task force? Ooh. Good question. They could. They have the means to do it now. Well then, everybody get ready for the botanical war. It is a botanical warfare. You're right. Because it's made out of trees. Oh. God. Feeling a little bit sore from gym. Whew. Okay. The Davites had some tree creatures on their side, eh? But now it's being used for gardening. Man. The things they do, I like the world building this one. I do too, yeah, it's like... It reminds me kind of like all the Japanese anomalies that are being told, like, oh yeah, and then, you know, in World War II, Japan used them quite a lot. And then you kind of get to see like how they were before to how they are now. So the idea that Japan just like casually just used SCPs in war. So yeah. So? Listen, man. It was World War II, we were desperate. We're getting our ass handed to us. We needed anomalous power on our side. Oh, what an interesting start, though. What an interesting start. Let's go on, shall we?